You know what a lot of people don't realize though, and I'm all for pumping entrepreneurship, but they don't even know the trials and error that you may have endured, like trying to be a boss or be your own boss. Sometimes it's non-stop work. Sometimes you on the clock still at 9, 10 at night. Some versus if you was working for a Shareef's, you would have got off at 5 or something, and you know.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I think if more people could just get through the paperwork and they understand and I think a lot of more people are catching on now though, but I think the paperwork discourages a lot of people, or maybe the verbiage inside of the contracts, people, so they may get discouraged when they have to do so many things. But if they could get past that and they could just understand this entrepreneurship is so fun. I mean, coming from where I came from, like this stuff is fun to me. Like it's a breeze. Like if you're a person that can easily solve problems, this is like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just finding something that you like or want to do and just capitalizing off of it. Really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, there's people just have fears of starting a business, and it's just easy once you can get past the paperwork. That's why it's good to have a mentor.
Uh-huh.
It's very like even it's good to have a mentor. Maybe see sometimes people take the word mentor like I gotta have it. No, somebody I could call and I could get advice. Somebody that already did it that I feel strongly about it. That's it. They don't have to hold your hand everywhere you go, but just find you a mentor so to walk you through it when you're ready to make that move. It's easier than.
Uh-huh. That's what a leader is. That they already made the path for us. That way it'd be easy and smooth. So it's good to follow the leader. That way you can become a leader yourself. You had to follow a good leader. You had to be a good follower, to become a good leader, great leader, or whatever.
But, yeah, I it was tough for me, to really, I'm a non-conformist. I don't conform to nothing nobody say. I always want to question everything. And once early on, I, found out that people lied to you and there was a lot of things, I questioned everything, you know what I'm saying? And it made me the way I am now. And a lot of people don't really like, they feel like I'm being arrogant or if I don't conform to the way you want me to be. Because some people want you to switch out who you are and how you act to be, like, okay, you worthy of hanging out with me or being, I don't care,
right.
Because nobody out here is better than me. That's how I feel. Like I'm not being arrogant, but I don't. So, and then if you don't, how the vaccine thing came out, and if you don't take it, then they make you feel this way. And, so they put pressure on people. It's peer pressure.
Yeah, pressure.
And so I conform. I'm just a non-conformist. I don't, I'm hard-headed,
So was you like that with your mentor? Because somebody had to mentor you. Because it's a time and place, I guess, to be not conforming and stuff like that. And I think it's important to want to know everything, like to really, so you can have an understanding. Like people can't just tell anything. They can't tell you they blocked doing this amount of numbers and you looking like, well, why you ain't already up? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think, you naturally going to, the way how you speaking your personality, you going to question some things that ain't going to make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way. Some stuff you can't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, I don't conform to just anything. Like, I'm not just going like the water. I'm not just, however, I am a chameleon. I can adapt to any environment, but it gotta make sense to me. I gotta see all the ins and outs, the pros and cons, stuff like that before I make a decision, but I do like to take advice. I do like to, learn from some great mentors and some good brothers, myself, whether they older or younger. I love to learn. I feel like every day, if I don't learn something, I feel like I wasted a day. That's why I don't listen to a lot of music. I watch a lot of podcasts and I go to different, seminars and stuff like that, which I see that you do also. You go to different seminars, you listen to different podcasts. You just on trying to educate to be bigger and better as a person. Every day you striving, even though, me, I'm Herman, I had my shortcomings, but for the most part, I be striving, and I see that in you. I see that in you. And it don't take a rocket scientist to see that when somebody turn one store into two into three, three, and not one store, they turn a truck, they turn a little mobile service into a store, a location, and then keep going from there. That's right there is persistent. It's business endurance. It's determination. It's a lot, because some people get stagnated. Like, it's some people that even in trucking, they might buy one truck and then they content, or that they can't get past, that one truck, but there's some people that went on one truck and they got 10,
Yeah. I think that when I say like non-conformist, I mean that I think like the majority of us, when we coming up, whether we came up in East Baltimore, wherever we came up at, we started to see people for like, cause we was coming up, I had to listen to a lot of the older people, regardless of whoever it was. I had to, cause that's how we were raised. We had to have respect. We had to listen to Mr. Such and Such, or run to the store for Miss Such and Such, and it was like, and I felt at an early age I had to listen to you. But then I think we started judging people based on how much money they have, or what they actually because people could tell you, boy, I'm telling you, you better do it, and then he don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I started form different opinions and stuff like that, and I started not to listen to so much what people say, but what they do, and what they had, and that kind of like changed my mindset, especially when I found out that somebody that was my supervisor, they was only making like $30,000 a year, and that show you how much that I was making, and I knew it was a better way. And so you think about most people, they just go out and go to work every day, and I just felt like it was a better way for me. You know what I'm saying? It was easy after the first store to do the second store, because it was just I had created systems at the first store, and it was just duplicating it to Chester Street, in Chester and Monument. It was just bringing it over there and finding employees to do the same thing. So once you have a system, it makes it that much easier, amongst other things, because you still had to figure out how to get, working capital and, all of these things. But typically, the first, I'm not gonna lie, the first store definitely paid for the second, and the third,
Right.
because if you could create an asset, and I'm not going to necessarily say I was lucky. I'm just saying that I worked hard to create a system that was working for me, that was able to produce income every day, and that's the name of the game. Revenue. You have to have income in these businesses to actually be profitable. Because me, I found out that it's better for me to do a lot of. I'd rather do volume than to get profit. Meaning that in terms of, if we was on the street, you had certain people, they might buy 8 ball $400 and they go back up, get 300 and make 200 profit. I was the one that was probably just going to make 20. I was going to make $100 profit, because I understood that volume would outweigh profit in the long run. So it's the same principle. It's just in a different thing. In business, everything that resonated from the street, you could carry it over to business. You know what I'm saying? And it just how it is.
That's why I was about to. I didn't want to cut you off. I was going to agree with you when you were saying a lot of us just scared of the paperwork and stuff like that, like starting out, because when we from the streets, we already doing business. We already conducting business and sales and, marketing and all these different things, but we just in the underworld with it. And then we apply and bring some of them tools and everything to the legit world, we unstoppable. But
absolutely. It's funny you say, I don't mean to cut you off, but
go ahead.
Because bringing the street to the business, like, so in my analogy is this: the first credit was when somebody gave you something on the street. They gave you an ounce of weed or a 8 ball of cocoa, and you bought it back, and how fast you bought it back, and and how trustworthy you was, and that was the first credit. That was the 8-1 credit. That's when you knew person. So it's not ironic that people go from the street and they come to business and they're able to handle money the same way that they was able to handle. So they probably carry on good money traits or good financial traits. But if there was a person that constantly owed people and ducked people and didn't have money, I don't think that they would come over here and do well in the business world because they're not good with money. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's about switching your mindset and understanding. And, sometimes we just have to get around men or get around good people. It's not that we're not good people. It's just that we haven't been taught certain things because we didn't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you definitely inspire me. All right, let me tell you. When I came home September 2010, it was you had the store over on Packer. I said Packer over on Curry and Franklin. Once I ate that motherfucker, I was hooked. Every day I had to go get me a Shareef sub, before I go back in the halfway house and all that type of stuff. I don't even really remember exactly how. I think it was another brother, another individual had brung some food back in, and they was talking about it like, yeah, it's a brother named Shareef. He got the raps. He got, they good as a motherfucker. Which I know they got your signature sauce. We can get into that in a second. Not your ingredients, but like far as what did it take for you to like to go over the top? Was it creating like a secret sauce, stuff like that? But I'm just telling you, then I wound up, I was home the whole 2011. I wound up going back in, and I came back home the end of 15. Now, when I come back home, it's a store on Monument Street. Like, so I said, dang, this brother, he down here, he doing his thing. He in John Hopkins vicinity now. He getting some of the piece of that Hopkins money. So I say, dang, I kind of figured like this would grow if you wanted it to grow. Like the product was going to grow. So, and I used to go in there sometimes with another brother, and they'd be like, dag, he got Mexicans in there, stuff like that. So I had to tell him like, man, you never know in life how things go. We try to start out, with our people and stuff, but I said, you don't even know what the brother probably was going through. People stealing, you don't really know. But and that right there showed me how people how they can automatically assume or they could judge something without even knowing what's going on and stuff like that. Or they don't really know how to run a business, because you got to do what's best for the business. Take all your personal feelings out. Take all, you can't worry about, you knew somebody a long time and you try and get them a job. Is they best qualified for the position? That's what it's about, because you are running a business that you're trying to grow to be a Fortune 500 company. Shareef, the chains everywhere. You might want to sell franchises, stuff like that. So we come from a city where people don't really understand business or nothing.
They don't. So I don't even really, because a lot of times, you're right. People ask me I was coming out of G-Mall one day and the brother was like, hey, y'all, let me house you for. So I said, he said, man, I went down, he said, I bought my man, he from out of town, bought it down in your store, man. He said, you got all these Mexicans. He said, you don't have no black people work down there anymore. So I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, why? That's, because at that point, we been, but just to make a long story short, like, I don't get, like, a lot of, I feel like that's not my main purpose I like to be able to give us jobs if we need it, coming home. That's like was my primary reasoning for being able to do that, for, to give brothers opportunity who couldn't get a job. When I used to have brothers coming from BPRU, BCCC, their caseworkers would call me and they would come in and, and it phased out. They wound up messing that up. So the people wouldn't even, once they mentioned Shareef's, they like, oh, no, they give me so, that's your homeboy or something like that. So, and then I figured out that, like, they were the most efficient people that was going to work. And in business, it's about, people understand numbers. Like, people get too emotionally attached. People want to see me behind the counter, behind the register, in the store, and to feel, like, oh, that's my, but, like, I can't grow like that.